Hey, LJ.
Hey, I'm jumping on for a moment, but I'm gonna be mute so because I'm helping Veronica real quick.
Oh yeah, no worries.
She said she got an update on RKI.
Oh, what'd they say?
What'd they say? There's enough material for 200.
What'd she say?
Big Roswan said that they have enough material for 250 pieces and to bring it up at the 8:30 meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, how's it going?
Hello, Rachel.
Hi. It's Yair, right?
Yes, Jair
Jer.
is.
Okay. Great. Are you liking it so far?
It's fun. It's
It's
a
a lot
lot
of
of information.
information. Yes. I'm having to I'm already working from home this afternoon, so I'll turn my camera on for a minute. But hello. Um, it is a lot of information. I started in customer service, so I understand what you're going through. I was also trained by LJ, and it's so overwhelming at first, and then before you know it, it's gonna be like 3 months in, and you're like, oh, I got it. It's cool. It's cool. So we
Yeah,
always say that you're new for at least a year. So 'cause it is a lot of information.
I see. Yeah, I'm expecting like the day when
Yeah. Oh
the
yeah.
switch.
Uh-huh. It definitely will. And it's definitely overwhelming. Like for me, coming into MSI, I didn't have any like manufacturing experience. I had worked in customer service, but not in this type of industry. And so whenever I first came on, I was just like, oh my God, like this is like who knew labels were so complicated and but it's a lot. And so but you have a good trainer. LJ's a good one. Hopefully she's
One
treating you
thing,
right.
one thing I can definitely tell you, with totally confidence is this is the first company where I felt like really welcome by everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're definitely happy to have you. That is that's one of the things about MSI, like working for a family owned and operated company. Um, People always look at me a little crazy whenever I'm like, yeah, I'm only 32, but I plan to retire from marking systems. Like that's what I hope for. Um, it's a good place to work. So
Yeah,
yeah, it is. It's a good
well,
place to work.
my first
Yes.
impression definitely are.
Good. Hi, Daniel. I'm Rochelle. How are you?
Good, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Hi, Ashton.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Jay. Hi, Daniel. How has the first few days been going for you?
Great, very full of information.
I know,
Having
I
fun
know it's a lot
digesting.
to take in
Yeah,
at first, but it all starts to click, I promise.
I was
All right,
telling
give me
them,
1 second, and I'm going to connect to the PowerPoint. And let's start with this. So, I know that I have met both of you. And so, I'm head of sales and marketing, part of the third generation at MSI. We're family owned and operated. But I want you to kind of get to know Rochelle as well. She's one of our sales reps. I can't really say she's the best because our whole team is so amazing, but she's truly like such a key player on the sales team, and she's one of the reps that really works closely with the customer service team, so that you guys are working in tandem on the account. So it's just a good relationship to have. And she started in customer service as well. But Rochelle, if you will, just kind of like introduce yourself, how long you've been with MSI. Yeah.
okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ashton. So like she mentioned, I started in customer service. I just hit the 3-year mark in May. And so I've been here for 3 years, worked in customer service for about 6 months, and then got to transition over to Ashton's team. And yeah, like I was telling Jay, I love marketing systems. I hope to work here forever. And it is so much information. And whenever you get into this world, you're like, who knew all of this could, like, labels need all of these things and die cuts? But it's a really great company to work for. I do work really closely with customer service. So don't ever hesitate to ask me any questions, or if you need help with
Thank
something,
you.
I'm always happy to help. I've been in your position before, and I know that first week of training, you're just like, whoa, like, well, hold on, what's happening? So I just excited to have you guys, and don't ever hesitate. Always here to help.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Rochelle. Okay, let's do it. So I'm going to share my screen. I think Eddie told me where you guys left off. So let me see. I thought I had it pulled up here. Hang on. Here we go. I think you guys were going through this PowerPoint, correct? Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay. So I'm just going to run through these really, really quick. I know that Eddie and Adam did, but like they probably said, Marking Systems and Marking Systems Die Cut. It's 2 companies that operate under the same umbrella. So you've got Marking Systems that does the printed graphics, so the overlays, nameplates, warning and caution, anything with printing and cutting. And then you've got the die cut side with the gasketing, insulators, EMI, RFI shielding, products like that. We are a 3M preferred converter. We are the only dual 3M preferred converter that has both the printed graphics as well as the die cut components. So that's really special. We work very closely with 3M and all of our suppliers, and we rely heavily on their expertise, their technical experts. And so it's a great working relationship. You'll see like all of our certifications down here. A lot of printing companies, local kind of mom and pop shops aren't going to keep up with all of these certifications because they're expensive. It takes a lot of documentation, but it's always something that MSI is going to have. And we're always going to spend the money to have these certifications for our customers because we do a lot of business that requires them. And then you'll see just kind of like the customer list. Again, our company is over 50 years old, family owned and operated. So Henry Van Buer, my grandfather, started the company, and then Matt and Greg Van Bieber, it's my dad and my uncle, they took over the company in the early 90s, and that's when we transitioned to the tight tolerance durable product labeling, and working exclusively with original equipment manufacturers. And then we brought on the die cut side of the business in 2015. So MSI products, the keypads, overlays, nameplates, dead fronts, info labels, doming, ULCSA, all this is done in-house. Except for the keypads, we use our longtime partner Allmax on the keypads. But yeah, all of it's done in-house in our facility, and same with the die cut. So gaskets, sealing, bonding and fastening, thermal management, insulators, EMI, RFI shielding. All of these products, again, are done in-house using the same die cutting equipment that we use for the labels for the die cuts. I think you guys stopped here with the rapid prototyping. So one thing that I would say, and feel free to ask any questions if you have them, and then Rochelle, chime in if there's something that I missed that would be important to bring up. I would say our biggest selling point and really kind of like the secret sauce of MSI is that we have our rapid prototyping program and our design and development, where we're working closely with our customers and their engineering teams to come up with exactly what they're needing for their product. So whether it's they need something that's more like standard prototyping, where they send us their spec, they already know what they want, and then we provide them samples per their spec, but then we can add in additional variations. So maybe it's adding in selective texture, a transparent ink, embossing, adding in something that they may not know is available. I'm gonna stop sharing really quick just so I can hold this up. So I think you guys will be getting your books soon, hopefully, and it will, once you get them, this was the same with Shailene and Roseanne. They were like, oh, wow, okay, we understand. Like, you can really touch and feel and see the products. But this is a one-pager that just shows our standard prototyping. And it's hard to show on camera, but you can see here, this is just a full gloss nameplate for Mega Media. We printed these per the customer's spec. But then Razvan, our R&D expert, added in these additional variations where, like on this one, you have a matte background and a glossy finish on the logo itself, and then embossing on the icon. And then this is using like a metallic ink. So you just kind of get like a more like silver looking metallic Mega Media, even though it's still blue. And then down here, we did some more selective texture, but with gradient. So there's a lot of things that we can do that are simple on our end, but really enhance the look of the part for the customer. 99% of the time, our customer ends up choosing something that we added in that they just didn't know was available to them. So this is what we classify as our standard prototyping. They send us their spec, and then we add in additional versions at no extra cost. There's no tooling involved, and we try to do these in a quick turn. I'm gonna share again. And so like here you've got some more examples where for Liberty Pumps, we did quite a few different versions for them, but you can see on the screen, like we did this version 1 where you see it's got, again, that black matte background and then glossy finish on other areas. But all the areas that you see it's glossy, we actually put a brushed silver material behind that as well. So you kind of get this metal look and selective texture. It just really enhances the look of that part. And then this next version, you've got the brushed silver behind it and a full gloss. And then the version 3 is just your standard white, but some embossing added for depth and dimension, and then full gloss. There's just, again, there's a lot of things we can do to enhance the look of the part. And we always want to be that trusted supplier to our customers where they're coming to us with questions or their needs, their prototyping needs, because we are here to support them on all levels. Then you get into the second program that we have, which is design and development. So in this prototyping program, our customer, they have an idea, and then we bring the full idea to life. So we've done this in various situations, but the best one, it's kind of like a showstopper. We always love to show it to our customers, is the National Instruments invisible ink or invisible barcode. And I don't know if you guys have already seen this yet, but I'll go over it again anyways. So NI, it's one of our largest customers. We do hundreds of overlays for them. They're all similar to each other. Again, I'm going to stop sharing just so I can see like where I'm holding this up. So this just kind of shows a few different National Instruments overlays. So for them, they came to us needing a way to internally identify their overlays. They get applied next to each other. So for internal identification, they wanted to make sure that their operators are putting on the correct part. So they asked if we could do an invisible barcode. And digitally printing, like that's been done before. You can digitally print an invisible barcode, but with screen print and getting exact color matches, it had never been done before. So Rosbon worked with our ink manufacturers to come up with a way to print an invisible 2D barcode. So can you see that? So I'm using the black light to see that tiny, tiny invisible 2D barcode. And we actually screen print that. And when we started this program, and so they have that on all of their overlays. Let's see. See it right there. Yeah.
Whenever you're talking to an engineer, this is always like mind blowing to them because it's done with screen print instead of digital print. And so that's
Yeah,
always
and they
something
just
always
came up with actually the digital printing technology where you can do invisible, but with screen printing, you can get exact color matches. And when we started this, they had like a white background. So when they changed their logo and needed this gray, we had to reformulate, redo the whole process. It took a couple of months for us to really come up with the solution, but that's good with us. We want to take that time, do that R&D to work with our customers to come up with a solution that works for them. And we're willing to do that. Like we will invest in equipment if that means it's going to make us a better supplier to our customers or give them a better product. So this is one we always like to show. And it's also a good example of all 4 of these overlays were printed at different times, but you can see the color consistency throughout these parts. And that just goes to show like our color control and everything we do to document and make sure that we stay consistent on color really pays off because you can see the color consistency. So yeah, I always like to show that. Let's see, I'll share again. But there's so many different projects where we have really worked alongside engineering teams with coming up with very unique solutions for their team. And again, there's pretty much nothing we won't do for the customer as long as it works out for both of us. Like MSI needs to make a little bit of money at the end of the day for overhead, employees to stay healthy as a business. And then we want them to also have a decent costing product. Any questions, Rochelle? Anything that I might have missed?
no. All the it's been a long time since I've been on a call where you're presenting, and so honestly, it's a nice refresher to hear it from you too. Like
It's been a while since I presented, honestly. It's crazy. Okay. So those are the 2 prototyping programs. These again is what I would say is these are MSI's like main selling points. So the sales team, we are really selling these programs. And when the sales team is involved and we're working through like processing some of these prototypes, it's definitely something where we want to make sure Rosbon's involved, upper management, customer service, sales, just to make sure that the first time it goes through perfectly and there's no issues. Key equipment, I think the guys talked about this some yesterday, I think that was, and I don't know, have y'all done the facility tour yet? Probably not, but you will.
It's a
They've,
YouTube video.
Yeah, we have we reviewed a video and
Okay.
Eddie took us shortly to the
Yeah.
plant.
Okay. So you've kind
Eddie
of
took
seen
his
it,
phone.
which is helpful. But as you've seen then in the videos or with Eddie, we've got screen printing department. And then also like next to that is our color matching department. So at MSI, we pride ourselves on being color experts. So our color matching department is for the screen printing department. And if our customer sends us maybe like a blue bezel and they were like match the background of the label to this blue bezel, we could do that and we could get a perfect color match because we have spectrophotometers where we can measure the color in all different lighting scenarios, and we have an actual like screen printing drawdown press to work on those color samples. So when we do a color match process, what we do is we print the swatches. So there will be 2 swatches of the said blue color, and we can do color readings, and then we send both of the swatches to the customer on a card. And if it's approved, the customer will keep one, and then they send back the other one, they sign it and send it back, and then we file that away in a cabinet where it's not exposed to any lights. And we always go back and match to that color that was signed off and approved by the customer. We don't match to the previous job run because you would get color creep over time. So anytime we run the job, we're matching to the approved color sample that we have on file and screen print. And then we've got digital printing. So we've got in both departments, we have like roughly 9 to 10 different presses, screen printing and digital. So there's just like so many different ways for parts to run through our shop. But digital is great when you have gradients, a lot of colors, maybe they're larger parts, but a small run. That can be great. And then we've got laser cutting machines, digital knife blade cutting, which is used for prototyping, so they don't have to pay for tooling up front. Roll-to-roll screen print, high-speed die cutting, rotary, all sorts of presses that you will be more familiar with as time goes on. And then actually on that note, I'm going to skip to our DMI, which is just like a broad overview, but on each press that we have in our shop, we have the direct machine interface DMI. There are these lights. It's like a system that tracks the press, so you can get overall scores and trends and job performance on the press for each job. So we're able to measure every impression, the speed, the stop times, and a lot of other metrics. And so we can give like exact performance for the jobs. You can give it scores. And really, like, I like to say MSI is a data-driven company. We take the data from DMI, from these presses, and we use that to quote the jobs, to make improvements. We use data on the sales team with customer service to improve like job performance or improve processes, all of that. So everything we do and all the changes we make are really based on data, hard numbers that we have. But DMI, I think at first, when we first implemented it, some of the employees were kind of nervous about it, but really it kind of showed us like a lot of there were so many employees that were excelling and they were doing so good and their numbers were always so good. So we were able to take some of the things that they were doing and kind of spread that knowledge to other departments. So it's been great. And so we can track the performance of every job. And then this is just kind of like a screen that kind of shows you, okay, we can compare like the target time versus the actual time it took to print a job. If there were any hours that were saved or lost, you can identify why and then just like check downtime reasons. So again, we track everything. There's numbers behind it so that we can make each job as profitable as possible. And then of course, I know LJ's probably like gone through this with like our customer service team, sales team, the 8:30 meetings. We take our service very, very we don't take it lightly. Service is everything for us. So when our customers come to us and they need an expedite or they have questions, we want to make sure that we're giving them timely responses. We will do everything in our power to expedite an order for our top customers. If they're in a bind, the last thing we want is for them to be lying down. So we'll do everything we can to get jobs out faster. And then we will, on any like new prospects that the sales team is going after, we will waive setups and die charges on any of their existing parts that they're switching from a current supplier over MSI. We'll waive the setups and die charges. So there's a lot that we'll do to work with them and really kind of be that valued supplier. And it's helped a lot adding. So we added the 8:30 meeting, and I think it was like in 2020 around COVID time, but it's been super helpful for the company as a whole because it gives everyone a chance to kind of jump on the meeting, ask these odd questions that come up throughout the day and get an answer right then. I remember like, and Rochelle probably does too, like there was a time in customer service where when I was in customer service, like when I first started at MSI, like 10 years ago, and there was a time where it was to get an answer on something that was kind of like different, it would take days. And you really had to kind of run around the building and ask a bunch of people. And now we're able to like take all those questions and get answers immediately. So it's been really great. And I think that our customers have felt the impact of that as well. Just getting better communication from the team.
Don't be nervous to bring things up at the 8:30.
Yeah, don't ever be nervous. Like, and there are no dumb questions. I'm an owner and I still don't know everything. I learn something new every single day. Could hardly tell you half of like the die cut materials and processes. So we're all always asking questions, and seriously, there is no dumb question. They all matter. Blanket orders, scheduled shipments. I'm sure you've kind of seen this and you'll learn a lot more about this, but it's a great thing that we offer our customers. So our customers have parts that they know they're going to order for years to come. And if they have like typical annual usages, what they can do is they can place, say we quoted 1,000 to 10,000 pieces. They can place an order for 10,000 pieces, get that price bracket where they get the scale of economy and the price is more cost effective. And we will build all the parts at one time, and then we'll stock them on our shelves. And then as they need the parts, they can release them, and we invoice as they release them. So it's a great way for our customers to get better pricing and for us to just kind of secure the business. So we do a lot of blanket orders, and then we also do scheduled shipments. So if your customer wants to place an order for 5,000 parts and ship half now and half in a couple of months, we can do that as well. But it's really nice. And then you'll see like on some of our larger customers that we've been doing business with for 20 years, we kind of know their order patterns and their order history. And so over time, we've started doing extra stock where we'll build more parts and then just put them on our shelves. The customer doesn't know that we do that, but we put them on our shelves, and then when the customer places another order in another month, we can just pull those parts off the shelf and ship them. And so we're just saving money on setups, and it's super helpful to the business overall.
With blanket orders, I know that it's $1,000 minimum for the order, and then $100 per release. And typically Zach or Ashton and Matt in the 8:30, they'll give us approval for the blanket orders. I've had situations where I've like maybe the customer wasn't a great opportunity, but at the time the order that they were placing seemed like a good order, and then it turns out down the line maybe we shouldn't have done scheduled shipments or a blanket order because now the releases are under the $100 value. So just keep that in mind. I get in trouble for that sometimes. I'll be like, yeah, let's just do a blanket. I'm like, oh wait, I need to get approval for the blanket.
Yeah, it has to be a customer that we know has like good references, established terms. So it's typically like our larger customers, not for like one-off customers, but you never know when you're going to come across it and when it's going to work out. But yeah, Rochelle's right. Like we even have had some really good long-term customers place blanket orders that are for like $300 total value. And that doesn't make sense for us because what it costs us to do the paperwork on every shipment is more than the cost of that PO. So the value has to be there. Okay, so I know we're ending at 4:30 today, and I'm thinking that's like the end of this presentation, but when our sales development reps that are based out of the Philippines, when they started, I did a presentation with them that really kind of goes through like our customer profile, who we're targeting. I think it probably makes sense for me to do that with you guys at some point next week, as once you have a little bit more of this under your belt. So I'll work with LJ to get that on the calendar for some point next week.
Okay, because I mean, you're welcome to do it now because I've just because we're just usually at an end of day recap and everything. So I've already canceled it if you wanted to go over. So
Well, I have to jump off at 4:30,
Mhm.
so we'll do it next week for sure.
Okay then. All right then.
Okay.
I'll write it down.
Do you want us adding them to any, like if we have virtual presentations this week, do you want, like how we did with the SDRs, do you want us to also
I think it makes sense for
Daniel
them
and
to
Jay?
see you guys do some of those. So yes,
Okay.
Yes.
just
I
let
know.
LJ know because she has a schedule.
Okay.
Yeah, just
okay.
let me know because they are working. I'll send you the schedule, Rochelle, so you can see. And that way, I'll send it to also to Eddie and Austin and them, so that way
Okay.
they'll see as well too. But yes, that would be great.
Okay. Awesome. Sounds good.
Okay. All righty. Short and sweet today, but yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow on the 8:30. But yeah, you have my WhatsApp, so don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions whatsoever. I'm always here to help with the process and just if you have any questions.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Ashton.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks,
Y'all have a
LJ.
great
Thank
day.
You're
you.
welcome.
Thanks, Rochelle. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
All right
Um,
then.
What do we do, LJ?
Can
So
we stay in this meeting?
yeah, we can just stay in this one real quick and everything just
Okay.
to see. Since everything's kind of been it's been rush today, hasn't it? It's been packed with meetings
Yeah.
for you. It won't be as bad once y'all start getting more information and everything and start working on your own accounts. But again, that's going to be about another 3 or 4 weeks before we
Yeah.
actually give y'all some accounts and off on your own. And again, you won't be completely on your own. You'll have all of us to back you up. So you're always
you.
here for questions. And again, the first time you start doing something, whether it's writing a quote or anything, I will walk you through it. So that way it'll go step by step. So, um, and so what did you think of today's training? All the information y'all received today?
I think that today it was a bit more abstract to me than yesterday because it felt like okay, it was useful to get to understand what these departments do, but at the same time, it felt like the involvement as far as us, customer service, was significantly lesser than the other departments. Yeah, than the meetings that we had before. So it was like good to, okay, I thought that this department did this, but it's not what I thought it was. But yeah, it feels like there's a lot of things that don't really involve customer service.
Yes, we're as they say, we are, so you know how you have a wagon wheel, right? So we are the spoke where we're the center of it all. Everything comes at us, and then we give everything out to it. So we are the ones that are constantly the first aspect of the whole thing. So if we're not fully functional, if we're broken, then it's going to be harder for us to recover. So we try
Got it.
to always start off first giving out all the correct information. Like they said today in estimating, we give them all the correct info. It makes
Mhm.
it easier down the line when we finally submit it to production. So that's the goal, is for everything to be not perfect, but at least well detailed and descriptive, so that way everybody knows what's going on. And that's where we want to get you guys to, is to make sure that when you're finally fully trained, that your orders, your quotes and your orders are good to go, and that there's no additional questions.
Yes, I did get the sense that estimating would be working, that we would be working with estimating much more closer on a day-to-day basis.
Correct. Mhm.
Yeah.
Anything else?
My turn. My turn.
Okay.
Um, I everything was doing great. Estimating meeting was awesome. The I'm sorry, the quality meeting
Quality.
was really hard for me to understand. Like everything, there was a lot of information,
Yeah,
and I got a
same
little
here.
bit lost in there.
Don't worry, we do too. Believe me, I did not realize how much information, how much they do when it comes to serial number jobs. That is a lot. And we wonder now, I understand why quality is always behind. They
Mm.
are, because they go
But
from
they have to check everything.
right. They have to check everything plus do the additional work that Sangul was doing for the PPAPs and first inspection reports. And then on top of that, once you'll get to sit with Patrick, you'll see how much he has to handle the other stuff, like the ISO audit that they just had last week, as well as another,
Oh,
which you'll hear more about ISO, one of our
yeah.
certifications, plus having to do with the rejects that you heard Veronica had talked about this morning. So there's so many things that they're involved in, that you wonder how they have the time for it. So, um, but yes,
Yeah,
they are very busy.
I was a little bit lost because I didn't knew what exactly affected me, like in this department, like what I needed to do
Mhm.
with that all that information. Like, okay, well, I get it, but what do I need?
Right. And you're really only just seeing what they, so in regards to what Andrea was showing you in regards to the serial numbers and all and barcoding, is that we have to make sure that when we put in an order for serial numbers, that we put in the correct information, because again, she has to go and double check that to make sure that when we produce the parts, we submit the correct serial numbers, the the roll inspect operator will inspect the correct numbers, and we ship those out. Because if we ship a roll that has the wrong barcode and it says whatever this part number is supposed to be or serial number is supposed to be, and it comes out wrong, then they have to reject that and send it back to us. So that's more extra work.
Yeah.
So the moment we put in those serial numbers in the job description, then let me show you, where did my screen go? There it is. Let me pull up and I can show you one for an instance, because I do have some customers that are serial numbers. Where is it? 3935. This is why I like the account numbers, because they're easier to find. So as in this instance for this customer that I have, let's see, for this is a serial number order. We do serial numbers for them all the time. This is probably one of the ones that Andrea will check. And as you can see here in this bottom corner, the details, actually, let me open it up real quick. As you can see in my detail description here, the serial numbers that are part of that job that Camelia entered in. As you can see, these are her initials and date. So they'll go and check that, which Camelia received those from the file that we got. Why did it do that? Okay, there it is. That's the one. Because our customer has to send us a file showing the serial numbers. Here's the original PO. And then here's the PO with the serial numbers. And so each line has their own serial number right here. And so we have to document those so that way it's easier for the team to see which ones they have to produce.
So what do I need to do?
So whenever you get a customer says this is a serial number and we don't have the, you have to ask them for serial numbers. And it's best to always get it in writing, like in an email. Or
Okay.
if even better, if they can put that information on the PO, that way it has a hard documentation, because we also save that PO with our signature and date. So it'd be great if they just do that. But again, if they're not able to add it to their PO, as long as we have it in an email, the starting and ending numbers, that
The
would be
serial
best.
numbers that you are referring, what are they from? Could you like summary real quick?
So serial numbers, it just depends on the customer. Some customers will use a serial number for, in this case, I'll show you what this.
Yeah, for the in the engineering thing. Okay.
Correct. So the serial number that they're requesting is to be put right here in a barcode. And so when they take this label and they put it on their part, they're able to go over there and use a barcode scanner to show that that's the correct information that there is for that part. So, and that's just for them to help with inventory on their end.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of customers use that. Another customer of mine that has serial numbers. Let me see if I can find that one. I think it's 8029.
I got confused. I thought that we needed to add serial numbers or something like that to pieces or our inventory, but it's not. You're referring to the client serial
Yes,
numbers.
that
Okay.
is correct.
Okay.
Yes, just like in this situation here with this one, the customer's serial order number rerun would change. So basically, they are adding serial numbers to this as well as they changed the update. They updated the layouts. Okay, there we go. So here they have a barcode for the UPC, but here is their serial number. And so those will change all the time.
Okay.
So it
So I
just
just may need to. Sorry.
yeah, so you'll just need to make sure that you always request the starting and ending serial numbers.
Okay. And make sure that within different revisions they are the same, right?
Yes, and always double check revisions. Sometimes customers will not put the revision on there, not on their drawing, but on their PO. So you have to always go back and ask them, hey, just want to confirm that this is the correct revision that we're currently running. Let's say we're currently running Rev A and they don't have that on their PO. So you just go back and ask them, confirm that we're to run Rev A. If they say, no, we're changing revs, then that's when we need the new artwork for the rev, and we get an updated proof. I'm not updated proof, updated quote before we start placing in the order.
Okay.
Let's, come on. Alrighty, let's see, what other questions did you have from today's training?
So the FIA and the PPAD, they
Oh.
mention it a lot. I have my notes, what they mean,
Mhm.
but
No, that's perfectly
so
fine. Let's see. So when Sangul was showing you, although she was showing you ones that she was currently working on or some that were already completed. So while I was watching that, I was noticed on the dashboard she had 3 that were mine. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. So when I get those, and usually for my customer, for Omnion Power, they require an FAI report only for new parts. So let's see, I know I just saw her. I know there was 3 that she had pending. There we go. Okay, so one is currently in process. This is this one. Okay, so let me open that up. All right, so I'll enter the order and I will put a note here, FAI paperwork to be sent via email when full quantity ships. That means when this full order is completed for this production job, and they're ordering 5 pieces. So when they do that, when they complete the 5 pieces, they will take a sample up to Sangul. She will review it and she will send the report via email to Omnion Power.
to the client.
So, to the client, yes. So in order for that to happen though, here's the line for our part that we're doing for them. This is the production line. And so this just gives all the information, the part number, the part description, the quantity that they're ordering at, the line, the PO number on the line. Yeah, the line item on the PO, sorry. And then, so what I'll do is I will copy that line and I will hit copy and I will make a new line. And that's where I will put in, after the part number, I will put FAI report only.
So let me try to explain, and you tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong.
Okay.
The FIA note that we add is for quality team to start basically like a prototype for us to see if everything is doing fine, something like that.
No. So basically, your customers will request an FAI sample or an FAI sample and report. So while we're creating their product, we'll send it to them and they will make sure that it works for them. So the report that Sangul does with the FAI sample is she will go and, like she was showing in the quality session, she will take that sample, compare it to what the customer has in their documents, their specification drawings, and she will go and do the measurements, make sure the color is correct, make sure that everything that's listed on that engineer drawing that she was showing y'all that she bubbled up compares to what that actual sample is that we produced. And then once she has reviewed it and everything, if that sample is okay, then she can go ahead and tell the shipping team to ship the samples and the report, again, depending on the customer, and they can get those first. So then the customer will get the report, get the samples, they will test them, review it, and if everything goes well with that sample and that report,
Then we
they
start
will,
the order.
correct, we will produce the order after their approval.
Okay, I got it. I had the same idea, but I explained it wrong, and you explained it a little better. So thank
Yeah,
you.
no, it's okay. Now, just to let you know, there are some customers that will place an order for FAI report for prototype samples, which will be their FAI report and everything and samples before they actually place a production order. So they do the testing first. So it just depends on the customer and what their requirements are. Um, and again, the same thing goes for the PPAP report, the pre-production approvals process.
Yeah, I think that was also my confusion because I thought that it was a prototype, so I didn't understand why it would be shipped at the same time than with the production and not before the production. But as far as I understand, it sometimes can be ordered by the customer before the production and sometimes along with the production, right?
Yes. Yeah, again, it just depends on your customer. They, like for this instance, for my customer here, they like to just do the whole order production, get the report only, and not worry about samples. They've
So,
been working with us for so long that they trust that our process is going to be to provide them a good, accurate product.
so it's something that is more for compliance, like to know that, okay, I don't have to check everything that I received because this report has already been checked and this report is thorough, so I can trust the report.
Correct. Yes, and does help with compliance. Yes.
Yeah, so the FAA report basically tells the client that our quality teams already checked and the colors match, is the like the measurements are correct, everything like that, right?
Yes. And believe me, there have been times when we do the complete report and everything, we've sent it, it looks great on our end and it complies with the specifications on the drawing, but sometimes the customer will get it and they realize that they made a mistake, so they reject
Oh.
it because they have to go back and make a change, not because it's something that we did, but because something they did on their end. Like maybe on the drawing, they noted a certain red color, but then that red color was different when they got it and they wanted it to be maybe a darker red, but didn't provide the correct PMS color. So,
Okay, so the fact that the FAA report exists is a way for them to also be able to easily track where the miscommunication took place.
correct.
Okay.
Yes. So as you see here, I have my line for the FAI report. And so I put in mine as well, I put on here another note saying FAI paperwork to be sent via email when the full quantity ships. For this customer, I always charge them $0 for the FAI report. Again, this customer we've had way before I started. So I always put 1 and put 0, 1 as the value. So that way, when we go to invoice them, we don't invoice them an actual charge for the report. And again, every company is different. There will be some of the smaller companies that do get charged an FAI report, and that price is usually different depending on how complicated the report that they're asking for. Yes.
And for other companies, the price of the FAA report would be provided by estimations or
Yes.
by which? Okay, estimation.
Yes, you'll tell when you submit the quote into them, you'll let them know that the customer needs an FAI report and they will provide that in their quote, as you had mentioned.
Okay, great.
And so then once I add that, I even go over and I'll save it. And in this instance, in order for it to also, for our shipping team to know that once they get the order, if this requires, actually, I need to go back to one more spot to tell you, if you'll see up on my screen, there is a checkbox that says FAI needed. Make sure to check that as well. This is something new, so it's taking me a while to get used to it, but as long as you check that, those requirements that I was showing you in the Where is that little that I was showing you in the customer details where it says FAI requirements and FAI shipping requirements? That will populate on the job ticket, which I'll show you as well. So after you add that line, you'll hit save and it'll take you into the job planning screen. I also add the note there as well that paperwork needs to be sent via email. I'll go to shipping. And because for my customer, we send the email to them with the report, I add a shipping line for them. And so I add, where did it go? There it goes. Okay. For them, this shipping line here says samples to be taken to Sangul for FAI report, and then she will email it to these individuals. And that's for shipping to know when they get the order, and if they haven't already been taken, the samples have been taken to Sangul, they know that they cannot ship this without Sangul's approval for the FAI. And I always make that the first line. So that way, again, if they get it, they see it says FAI report only, and it says samples to be taken to Sangul. So that's the first thing, the first line they'll see. And then once she reviews it and gives her approval that everything is good for it to ship, she'll let the shipping team know, and then they'll go ahead and ship the order out. Sometimes during our FAI, the FAI inspection, she'll come across the part and it'll be rejected on our end because we did something wrong. So we'll have to do an internal reject. And I'll explain those later as we come across those. Okay, so once we do that, then we hit OK. And again, it'll pop up on that dashboard that Sangul was showing y'all earlier. But again, this is where I was telling you about that the report and the ship with production for the customer details that will automatically populate on here. Let me show you the job ticket. This is what will show.
BRB, just a second.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, there it goes. So here it shows that the FAI paperwork to be sent via email will ship.
And here, level 2 is referring to the FAI?
No, so we have different levels. I think this is for the level of the inspection that it is. T1 is tier 1 for the level of the customer, which is the top level. And level 2 is for the type of inspection that this customer gets every time. I do have a customer that is, let me see if I can find them. I believe they are level 3 inspection. Let's see. Yeah, we're going over through the job ticket is very detailed, and I'll have to go through that when we're going through the work instructions. Oh, that's not what I wanted to see. Come on. At the end of the day, the system gets really slow. So, so here again, here's the one. This is for Garrett. It's another company. T1, they're a tier 1 company. So they are one of our top, I would say at least in our top 50 accounts. And then they get level 3 inspection, which is a higher level.
Okay.
And Patrick can explain all of that during the quality meeting of what the different levels of inspection are. I'll remind him to do that.
Okay.
Let's see. So anything else in regards to FAIs and PPAPs?
I don't have any questions.
Not right now.
Okay. The moment you get one, because like I said, it's very rare that you'll receive them, let me know and we can walk through it. So the next thing I know, any other questions from throughout your training today?
Yeah, at the beginning of the day when we were saving the columns,
Oh yeah.
I didn't save the ones for the estimate view correctly. So I was wondering whether you could share a snapshot of what your columns look like for those,
Oh,
to be able to set them up just like you had shared for all jobs.
sure. Let me do that right now. I can do that. And if my screen would do what it's supposed to do. It's so hard when you're sharing your screen, it doesn't want to do.
Or maybe I could take a screenshot of this and just go like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I have to go to the other screen to do it, so it's good.
Oh,
So
okay.
here's for the estimates. And I will drop it in an email and
Thank you.
send it to y'all. Not a problem. Come on. Like I said, the system gets really slow at the end of the day. It's like it wants to quit itself. It's tired. Okay. All right then. All right.
When are you going to do a face reveal, LJ?
You're so funny. I'll do one now, but I gotta get, I think it is. Is it working? I have to see. Believe me, it has been a day, so this is
Pleasure
what
to
you
meet
get.
you.
Nice to meet you
Hello,
guys.
LJ. Funny to meet you.
Usually because I've been back, my desk is a complete mess, and the fact that I've been running around back and forth, this is why my hair is up. So it's normally down and long, so it kind of gets a little warm in here. So it's one of those things, but yes, this is me. So
You look good, LJ.
thank you.
Exactly the same, imagine.
Well, good. Well, my picture is about 15 years younger, so it's still,
Oh,
hopefully I still, with my hair down, I still look kind of the same. It's just 15 years older. So
In my picture, I still have hair.
yeah, that's okay. You've seen Eddie, believe me, he's aged quite a bit, but at least he still keeps showing his face. It's one of those days where it's just easier to not be on the screen. So
got it. Yeah.
So anything else that I can help y'all with today? I know that there was a lot of information that was thrown at you guys. And again, I know you're probably going to come up with questions later today as you're winding down. But again, just send them to us, send them to whoever you think you might need to answer the question. Even if you don't know who you might need to send it to, go ahead and send it to me and I will direct it in the right direction and copy whoever needs to be. So that way you get those answers.
Okay.
Oh, we already finished the day, right? Well, in 2
Yeah.
minutes.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
but we can get ready to jump off and you guys can be ready for tomorrow.
Okay.
Last question, real quick.
Okay.
The activity that you sent us, that you told us to do yesterday,
Oh, yes. Let me get out of this and I can bring that back
do we
up.
do it today? I didn't make it yesterday, to be honest.
Yeah, no. This is something for you guys to just practice on, to use as a reference
Oh,
when you have a moment to go into E&T and just help search around for it. So you can kind of get used to just looking at the information that customers send us and what you're going to need in order to search through E&T to find stuff. So that's why I just sent it to you. So you can kind of get your feet wet with getting into E&T and looking for information. It is, and then when you do get some, just, send an email back to me saying, okay, this is what I found. This is what it is. That way I can just see where you're comfortable at looking for. It's kind of basically, how you get those, they give you those pre-tests to see where you're standing at and stuff. So that's one of those.
Mhm.
It's not really a test. It's just something to see where you're at. And that's it. So
Okay. I thought that we were doing it like in a meeting or something.
No, we can work on it tomorrow during in the early meeting tomorrow before, so we can do that. I can show y'all real quick right now, actually, if you want. Where was that? Because I know that you have your columns for the all jobs created. Let me see, where's that?
We got it all set up, but I'm still not confident enough to like search. So I wanted to share my screen and all that.
Sure, go ahead. I mean, if you want, or we can do it, like I said, we can do it first thing in the morning. So,
Yeah, tomorrow.
okay then. All right, then I will be on here tomorrow at 8 o'clock so that when you guys are ready, we'll get ready to go.
Thank you, LJ.
Okay,
You're
perfect.
welcome. All right, it's
Thanks.
great talking to you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you
Bye bye.
tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye. Good afternoon.